This video is part 3 in our series about understanding our horses. If you haven't seen those videos, I will link them below. It is well worth our time to learn about the horse's vision and how they see the world around them. A horse's eyesight is one of the primary senses the horse uses to evaluate the world around them. Does it surprise you that your horse may see his surroundings differently than you do? You may see a common bucket harmlessly set on the ground. The horse may see it as a strange, foreign object from his perspective. Horses see in less detail than we do. We have the ability to focus our eyes to see fine detail and distance. Horses have a broader field of vision than we do. They can almost see all the way around them. This is so they can see a predator approaching from any direction. Horses are also much more sensitive to detecting motion than we are. They must see the slightest movement of brush. A predator may be lurking in the underbrush. Detecting the slightest movement may mean the difference between survival or being killed.
Everybody run! It's the monster bucket!
Horses' eyes do take a longer time to adjust to light change than our eyes. If you are leading your horse from a brightly lit area to a darker area, pause for a few seconds to let your horse's eyes adjust to the new lighting. Horses don't see depth as well as we do. This is why horses might refuse to jump or not step into a puddle of water. Always be sensitive to how your horse may be perceiving an object. Prey animals such as horses have their eyes set to the side of their heads. This leads to a blind spot in front of the horse's face. This blind spot can extend as much as 4 feet in front of the horse's face. This is why it is a good idea to approach the horse at the shoulder rather than walking directly towards them from the front. This frontal blind spot is important to take in consideration when you ask your horse to step over or jump an object. If the horse balks or shies from the object, it may be due to the fact that the object is in the horse's blind spot and the horse is unconfident about approaching it. I ask all my jumping students to place both their hands on the middle of their face. This effectively blocks their eyes from seeing directly in front of them. Then I ask them to walk up and step over the jumps in the arena. Suddenly, these human students begin to hesitate and become unconfident when navigating the jumps. Throughout the years, horses have been bred to have narrower, finer heads with their eyes set more forward. This shortens the distance of the frontal blind spot. Arabians are a breed that are noted for having a narrow, dished face that allows for better front vision. Conversely, a wide-headed Roman-nosed horse will have a longer frontal blind spot. Horses also have a rear blind spot. This blind spot extends directly behind them. This is a very dangerous spot to be. This is why we stress to our students to never walk behind the horse unless you're patting them on the rump the whole way around. A horse can easily become frightened and kick out if they perceive something is in their blind spot. If they slightly tip their head, they can easily view fully around them. This is something to bear in mind when your horse is out in their pasture and is turned away from you. Chances are they can still see more of you than you think. Humans have no problem looking at an object and focusing their eyes. Our brain does this automatically without us giving it much thought. We can be reading a book and instantly raise our eyes to see the neighbor's dog across the street. Horses must raise and lower their heads to focus on objects of different distances. When a horse's head is lowered, such as when they are grazing, they can focus about 18 inches in front, ideal for surveying the grass that they are nibbling on. If they hear a distant noise on the horizon, they must raise their head high to focus on it. This is why horses raise their heads when they hear a distant noise. Horses have the ability to use both monocular and binocular vision. When the horse stands with their head up and ears pricked forward, looking with both eyes at an object, they are using their binocular vision. As they graze or at rest, they tend to switch to monocular vision and can use each eye separately. This is a skill humans aren't very good at. It is important to understand how the horse perceives the world as they switch from monocular to binocular vision. Try this experiment. Cover one eye with your hand. Hold an object such as a pencil in front of your face with the other hand. Hold it about 12 inches away. Now quickly switch your hand to cover your other eye. Switch back and forth quickly, covering one eye, then the other. What does the object appear to do? It appears to jump a few inches. When horses switch from monocular vision to binocular vision, the object they are looking at may appear to mysteriously jump a different spot. This may explain why a horse will unexpectedly spook at normal, everyday items. It is for this reason that I like to make sure that any horse I am approaching gives me two eyes before I approach into their personal zone. It's these small things that can keep you savvy and safe while working around horses. The question of whether or not horses see in color has never been truly resolved by science. Some experts think horses can see colors, but the colors are more muted and washed out than our perception of color. Other experts think the horse doesn't possess the ability to see in color and therefore see the world only in black, white, and grays. We may never know for sure, but it is important to understand as much as possible about how and what the horses see of the world around them. Our physical eyesight is very important to us. We use our eyes as the principal window to the environment around us. If we close our eyes, we close the way for information from our surroundings to get to us. The same can be said of our spiritual eyes. We must make sure our spiritual eyes are open and perceiving what God would want us to know. Spiritual blindness can be just as dark as physical blindness. Our spiritual eyes help us to stay on the path God has set before us. Go to this people and say, "You will be ever hearing but never understanding. You will be ever seeing but not perceiving. For this people's heart has become calloused. They hear with their ears and they have closed their eyes. Otherwise, they might see with their eyes, hear with their ears, understand with their hearts and turn, and I will heal them." Acts 28:26-27.